Jacksonville's drill scene has been at the center of some of the most controversial rap beefs in the South, and one of his infamous faces is Ksoo, a rapper who went from YouTube freestyles to murder headlines. And before his own father turned on him, Ksoo was just a kid growing up in the streets of Duval County, right in the heart of the war between ATK and KTA. This is the story of how Ksoo rose to fame, fell into a deadly trap, and is now facing the fight of his life in court. Ksoo, real name Hakeem Robinson, was born in 1998 in Jacksonville, Florida. Growing up in one of the city's most violent neighborhoods, he was raised around the pressure of gang life. From a young age, his father, Abdul Robinson Sr., was already known in the streets, so it wasn't long before Hakeem was surrounded by guns, dope, and bloodshed. But it was all just street business. Music was always in the mix. Ksoo started rapping in the late 2010s, influenced by what was going on around him. His early tracks like Ksoo and Can't Think went viral in the city, and his gritty, aggressive style earned him a loyal fan base online. But what really boosted Ksoo's name was his connection to his homie Yungeen Ace, one of Jacksonville's biggest rap stars. Ace and Ksoo weren't just collaborators, they were locked in. Real street ties, they both repped ATK, which stood for Ace's Top Killers, a group tied to a long-standing war with rival collective KTA, led by rappers like Julio Fulio. The beef wasn't just music. It was real bodies, real retaliation, and real death. And Ksoo, he wasn't rapping about the streets, he was living it. That energy showed in his visuals, his lyrics, and especially on his 2019 project, Bibby Out. An album named after a 16-year-old rival who was gunned down and allegedly mocked in Ksoo's music. But it wouldn't be long before the lyrics and disses caught up with him. In March 2020, Charles McCormick, aka Lil Buck, was gunned down outside of Jacksonville shopping plaza. According to prosecutors, Lil Buck was affiliated with KTA, and his death was no random act. Just months after the killing, Ksoo and his cousin Leroy Whitaker, ATK, Scotty, were arrested. Police said Ksoo pulled the trigger while Scotty drove the getaway car. And the feds, they said it was straight up gang retaliation, a calculated move by ATK in a deadly war with KTA. That wasn't the only body prosecutors had on Ksoo. Back in 2019, a 16-year-old named Adrian Grainer, also known as Bibby, was shot and killed in broad daylight while inside a Jacksonville apartment complex. Ksoo was later charged with first-degree murder in that case too, now facing 2 murder charges. It was no longer just about rap beef, this was life or death. And things got even wilder while the court found out who would be testifying against him, his own father. Yeah, you heard that right. In 2022, reports came out that Abdul Robinson Sr. had agreed to cooperate with the state. He was also facing charges in the Lil Buck case, allegedly for helping Ksoo evade arrest and cover up the murder. But in a shocking twist, Abdul Sr. flipped and agreed to testify against his own son. He had reportedly told prosecutors that he watched Ksoo shoot Lil Buck and that he helped him escape the scene. That moment broke the internet. Soon, social media lit up. And from that point on, Ksoo's trial became one of the most high-profile rap cases in Florida history. Fast forward to July 2025, jury selection finally began in the murder trial. Ksoo's legal team, made up of high-powered defense attorneys Tara Kawais and Christopher DeCoste, are trying to fight back against what they call a case based on fear, not facts. Prosecutors say they've got dash cam videos showing the shooting. They've got forensic evidence like fingerprints and hairs, and lyrics from Ksoo's own songs that they say connect him to the murders. They even pointed to Instagram caption where Ksoo allegedly mocked the dead. One post after Lil Buck's murder read, "Bye bye." Another said, "Kill a op, then go get my toes done." The state claimed those aren't just lyrics or jokes, they're admissions. But the defense is pushing back hard. They say the video is grainy and doesn't clearly show Ksoo. They claim the real killer is someone else and that the witnesses, including his father, can't be trusted. And they've got good reason. Several jurors have already dropped out, saying they fear for their safety or feel that the case is too emotionally charged. One woman even admitted she couldn't handle the trauma of the photos and crime scene details. This ain't a typical rap trial, this is a street war being played out in court. Outside the courtroom, Yungeen Ace has stayed quiet, only occasionally posting cryptic messages. But one thing's clear, Ksoo is facing serious time. If convicted of either murder, he could be sentenced to life in prison without parole, and that would be the end of his rap career. If he walks free, it would raise major questions about how rap lyrics are used in court, how credible witnesses really are, and whether prosecutors are targeting drill rappers for things that are more art than evidence.